Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome home again. We're in the back alley here in Wicker Park, and today we're really making a lot of progress with our coach house. Demolition's all complete. We're going to be installing a steel beam back here so that we can cut in a garage door. Inside, we're digging trenches in the mud, changing the grade so that we can pour slabs. On a lighter note, we're going to go to Oak Park, a beautiful suburb where Frank Lloyd Wright got his start in life, and we're going to check out his studio.
That's right. No windows at the lower level to distract you.
So stay with us. It's good to have you home again.
Sears presents Home Again with Bob Vila.
Well, Ron, you've made a lot of progress around here in just
Bob.
a week.
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on. We're getting ready to put our steel beam in for our garage.
This it?
This is it right here.
You'll double them up.
Right.
Is this new or used steel?
No, this is used. Cost me about $100.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Good, good.
We got a lot of guys digging in the basement, and I got a nice big hole out here for you.
Look at this.
Isn't this nice?
This is awful. This is what you call real Chicago clay, huh?
Yeah, the finest clay that you can't work with.
Heavy stuff. What can you grow in it? And these guys are doing a wonderful job of digging down there. They're down about 4 or 5 feet already.
About 5 feet. We have to be down 5 feet to put the new water line in, which is coming from the front building here.
But these are not water. What's this green pipe?
This green pipe right here is a gas line, and it's a live gas line, and we're going to be able to reuse it.
That looks relatively new, though.
Yeah.
And then there's an old rusty one over here.
Right, that one is old, and we're not going to have to worry about that.
Why are they digging so deep?
Chicago, the frost line is 4 feet, okay? And you have to be below frost line, so code says go down 5 feet.
Not for gas. You mean the water line's coming through?
The water line, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the new water line will be down 5 feet.
Right.
And the gas can stay up closer to the surface because it doesn't freeze. Boy, my hat's off to them. That's tough digging. How are things going inside here?
Real good. I think you'll be happy with what we got going on here.
Oh, boy. That demolition guy wasn't kidding, was he?
Nice surprise, huh?
We've gutted the whole thing down, haven't we? Nothing left but the bare brick walls. Boy. You know, a lot of people are going to wonder, why not just tear the whole thing down?
Well, this building is grandfathered in to the city code, and if you tear it down, you can't rebuild it. This is valuable real estate.
That's true. And are these masonry walls really sturdy?
I think they're in good shape. I mean, we got a little bit of brickwork to do around some of the windows, but basically it's in good shape.
It's probably about 100 years old. They've just got 2 courses of brick with kind of a space in between the courses. And I've seen this before. This line is actually a piece of wood lath. And you'll probably find it repeats. Yeah, there it is up here, 3 feet higher up. And it's essentially put in there for expansion. It's an early form of an expansion joint. But it's not bad work. I mean, this is early masonry in Chicago, right? This was all a wooden city up until it burnt down in the 1871 fire.
That's right.
And looks pretty good. Let's see. That's pretty sturdy. You're going to have to replace every single window, right?
Every one.
How come you've left this partition up in the middle?
Well, this is the bearing wall, and it's holding up the second floor up there, the attic floor, and I'm not taking it down until you guys are clear on your design here.
Yeah, we still have to meet with the architect and finalize the plan for the interior layout. We're hoping that it's going to be pretty much just open space, but I know you've got to worry about carrying the load of the attic floor. Well, we could have gone through the hole down here, huh? This is quite something.
Yeah, isn't this nice?
Well, this is a whole pile of dirt that's been brought from over there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Let's go down and take a closer look.
I love this demolition stuff.
Really? This soil in Chicago is something else. It really is like solid clay. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look how hard that is.
Now, Ron, I'm looking at some unusual building technique here that I've never really seen before. It seems to me like you've got a sill that runs around the whole perimeter of the building in between the brick wall here.
This is an 8x8 sitting on the first floor, and then they just stack the second floor right on top of it. And I'm not sure why they did this, Bob. You know, it's possible that, you know, when this building was going up, that a lot of people were sort of getting their feet wet in masonry and trying different things.
So what they had here was all the floor joists that you've removed. Were they resting on these ledgers?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, this building is really structurally in good shape.
Yeah.
It's just not done the right way.
Now still, if this wood had rotted over the course of the years, all this load of masonry would have been
Down.
tumbling down. And you've already begun cutting this one out because we will be installing the steel in here
Right.
for the garage door. But actually, the garage door will be up around here, right?
That's correct.
It's a pretty complicated job. Let's take a look down in here. Boy, this is heavy work. Excuse me a minute, fellas.
Seems like we're always in a basement, Bob.
I'm ready to get out of one. Well, we're close to being able to pour a floor in here. Now, up here in the corner, you can see where our footing is, right? This
Right.
is the old footing that goes down to about here.
Right.
And is this going to connect with that trench outside?
Yeah, this is the trench where we're going to bring the new water service into.
Okay, and then once you're inside the heated building, you can come up. Have we dug down as far as we need to dig?
Well, I think we're pretty close. Let me just take a quick test here and see how we look. We're about an inch off right now. We need about an inch more.
Okay, so once they've got that down to exactly the depth that you need, what's next? What will you be doing down?
Well, we're going to insulate this slab down here with about an inch of styrofoam insulation.
Okay.
Covering that with a vapor barrier, visqueen material.
Yeah.
Our wire mesh, and then 4 inches of concrete.
And that'll be it.
That'll be it.
Wonderful. Now, just one question. Why do you suppose they haven't bothered with this yet? You're not going to leave this when you pour.
No,
this
but
big chunk of mud and stuff.
This is the old column that supported, one of the structural beams right here.
Aha.
This has to come out, but I can't take it out just yet without putting a couple of supports on either side.
So you'll put in temporary posts on either side of that big beam.
Right, and we'll box around them, and then after we get done pouring the slab, we'll just take those out and fill the holes with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we're going to dig down even a little bit deeper and put a footing in.
Okay.
And this is where our new support beam is going to go here.
Which will not be a huge timber like
No,
this, right?
it'll be a 4x4, believe
That's
it or not.
all you need.
Right.
Good. All right, well, they're doing a wonderful job. Right now, we've got a break for some messages, and when we come back, we're going to be in Oak Park, Illinois, where we'll take a tour of the neighborhood and visit Frank Lloyd Wright's studio. So stay with us. We're in Oak Park, Illinois, a suburb just about 10 miles west of the Loop. And we're going to be visiting a very special place, Frank Lloyd Wright's studio, which was restored just in the last few years. I thought before we went inside, we'd benefit from taking a look at this neighborhood, this community, which Frank Lloyd Wright was very active in the early 1900s. Some of his best and earliest designs are right here. So we're getting together with Gloria Garfalo, who's the tour program's director, and she's going to show us some of those houses. Let's get going.
Bob, we're headed right now over to see a couple of Frank Lloyd Wright's earliest houses. They're 1892. They're typical Queen Anne style, not the typical style that Frank Lloyd Wright was known for in Oak Park. It's not a typical prairie style.
How old was he when he designed these?
He was in his mid-20s, and he was working with Adler and Sullivan. This is the Thomas Parker House, 1892, and you can see it, the Queen Anne style with the turret. The house right next door is the Waldergale House, his first commission after he left Adler and Sullivan. And you can see again the typical Queen Anne style house, but not so typical of the prairie style he was known for. This is the Nathan Moore House, designed by Wright in 1895. It's an English Tudor house, mainly because Nathan Moore wanted an English Tudor design, and of course Wright had to abide by his client's wishes. When you look at this, you can begin to see some of the horizontal emphasis that eventually comes out in his prairie style. Directly next to that house is the Hills de Caro House, which was a remodeling done by Wright in 1906. Here you can definitely see his Japanese influence.
Really, what a difference between the two.
That's right, and directly across the street is the Arthur Hertley House, designed by Wright in 1902. And it's a good example of Wright's prairie style. Notice the hip roof. Directly below the hip roof, you have the banding of windows together. Below that is a string course banding of concrete, further emphasizing horizontality, and then the rows of bricks. 3 rows are reseated, and 1 brick is one row is extended out, and that further accentuates that horizontality for his prairie style.
That contour of the land, which in this case is just flat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Directly next door to this Victorian is a very radical design by Wright in 1909. Notice how the porches cantilever out from the building. This is a precursor to Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water in Bear Run, Pennsylvania. It's a very radical house.
Well, you can say that again for 1909, right? Well, are we ready to go see the studio?
Wright built the studio in 1898 and worked here until 1909. After that, it was divided into a number of apartments, and then in 1974, we purchased the property and restored it back to the year 1909.
And this is literally the front hall, but it's also a workspace.
That's right. This is the planning desk and the reception hall where builders and contractors could bring their plans.
Sparks could fly. Yeah, it's
That's
exciting.
right.
Yeah, and what a beautiful ceiling, or rather skylight, huh?
This is the original art glass designed by Wright.
Spectacular.
We're going to go now into a very dramatic space. This is the drafting room. This is where the Prairie architects actually worked.
You go from the low spaces to the soaring spaces.
That's right.
This is beautiful. It's really a square and then an octagon, right?
Yes, and when you look up, notice how the chain and harness, it's a tension ring with 8 ball joints that literally take the stress and tension of the building.
Okay, yeah, a tension ring which replaces the need for rafters or anything like that. And instead of using steel or wood, he's used chains. Very innovative. How would this have worked? You had different workstations here for the architects.
The architects worked at this lower level at these tables, and then up on the balcony, you would have various artisans that would be working on sculpting designs, art glass designs, and so forth.
So it really was a design commune.
It's a real melding of the two.
Fantastic. Now, is the furniture original or is it all reproduction?
No, all of this is reproduction except for this table designed by Wright.
It's a beauty. Yeah, you can really see the age on it with that strong horizontal line. It's really neat. And then, of course, there's a fireplace in the space, which kind of is reminiscent of what I've read about Wright with the inglenook and this business of being able to sit right next to the fire.
That's right, and here he's using what was typical of Sullivan design with the arch, but he'll get away from the arch and go to a horizontal mantel.
He worked for Louis Sullivan. These were Sullivan ideas, and then he switched over to the flat design, his own ideas.
Let's now go over into Wright's office, but before we do that, let's stop in the passageway, which connected the home and the studio.
Okay. What's this?
This is a honey locust. When Wright originally built the house, there was a willow tree, and rather than remove it, he left it. So to be pure in our restoration, we chose a honey locust tree to replace the willow.
Yeah.
Let's now go into Wright's office.
This is cozy.
Here you can really see the modern detail and design of Wright. His furnishings in that really doesn't look like an 1898 office.
It's not a drafting room, though. He would have done his design work out there.
That's right. He'd be over his Prairie architects doing the designs, adding to the drawings, and so forth.
And in here, he'd write a letter or conduct business.
That's right.
And again, the skylight.
That's right. Directly above, we have, again, a skylight, leaving natural light coming in. Let's now.
Colors, huh? The browns and the greens and
That's
the yellows.
right.
Yeah.
Let's now go to the Octagon Library, where Wright would bring his clients, where he'd present them with the drawings he executed for them.
Okay, so that was workspace. This is where you did the selling, huh?
Yes.
Oh, this is very neat. Again, it's an octagon, huh?
That's right, and notice the design elements here. Look at the octagon shape, how the octagon actually rotates when you're looking at the...
Very complicated space. I think we can barely understand that, but what you're saying is that the plane of one of the 8 sides is at an angle to the next plane. You see the V up there, and then you replicate it again, and you've got this repetition so that, in fact, you feel like you're rotating in here.
That's right. It's constantly rotating.
So he's really hooking them in. I can see, you're bringing in your clients and sitting them here at this. Is this original furniture?
Actually, the table is original, but the chairs are reproduction.
You're sitting them in here, and you're selling them on the design, and you've got them locked into this very intense space. No window. Well, the windows are high.
That's right. No windows at the lower level to distract you.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And he'd even go, when you look at the fireplace, to not lose the symmetry of the windows, he angles the flue of the fireplace off to the side so the chimney is over to the left.
So it's corbelled out through here and up through that element there.
That's right. He's not losing anything in the space.
It's really clever. There's an incredible amount of stuff going on here. The space is so rich.
This is where he'd do his final product. This is where he's giving his client that final design, doing that final cell.
It's really exciting. Now, what did a space like this look like when this was turned into apartments?
This actually was a bedroom, and there was a window at the lower level.
So you really had to do a total restoration.
That's right.
Yeah, all the wood, most of the wood is replaced, etc.
That's right.
And a beautiful job you've done. Gloria, thanks for the tour. Now, is this open to the public?
We're open every day except Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
I'm sure you're going to get a lot of visitors. Thanks again. We have to break for some messages. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Good. So the destruction continues around here, Ron. Every time I turn around, something else is being ripped apart.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a demolition contractor, Bob, not a
Tell us
carpenter.
what we're doing here.
Well, we have this big garage door that we want to put in here. It's about an 8-foot door from red line to red line here, and that's about the smallest that we can get in.
Yeah.
And I need about 6'4" of headroom for this thing, which is reflected in these 2 horizontal red lines that I have here.
Yeah.
So I want to take out this brick, and so I need something to support the brick above it, and what I'm going to use are these steel beams right over here.
Right. Which are little I-beams that you bought from the salvage yard.
Right. So the way I do this is I like to take out 1 course of brick at a time, okay? We have 2 courses of brick width here.
Yeah.
And I'll take out my bricks on this side first, slide my beam in, okay, and then go around on the back side and repeat the same process over there.
And you're sure you won't lose the whole wall?
Yeah, we're not going to lose the wall. We've done this a lot of times.
All right, where do you get started?
Well, we're going to get started right down over here, and John, if you'll just bring your hammer here, and let's start on these 2 bricks right here. Up there. Okay, let's take it to you. Okay, good.
All right,
Now,
so now do you shim it up or what?
Yeah, we're gonna put my level on it, see what's happening. Okay, John, you just hold my level there. John, get your end in. That's it. Okay, good. All we gotta do is get some shims now. We'll be all set. Good.
Okay, so we've got both the pieces of steel in place now, temporarily holding everything up. So what's next?
Well, what's next is I'm putting a couple of guidelines on here so Ralph can saw through these with a big masonry saw that we have here, and we're going to start to take the wall out from the middle. Okay, so Ralph, as soon as you're ready, let's do it.
Start it up. Off a minute, John. Now, why you're just taking out the section in between the 2 saw cuts? Why can't we just pull the whole thing out?
Well, we want to, always be safe, Bob, and I want to get one more temporary support in here before I start blasting away here.
Okay, we'll be back after these messages. Go to it, John. Nice going, John. But still a good ways to go. We're running out of time. That's a wrap for this week. Come home again next week. We'll have this complete. We'll be building some floor systems in here, putting in some beams. We'll be actually building a winder staircase as well, and taking you on a tour of a factory in Vancouver, British Columbia, where they manufacture beams. So don't miss it. Till then, I'm Bob Vila. It's good to have you home again.